The boy had just accidentally squirted ketchup on himself. He turned around and was horrified to see his mom pointing a camera at him. He quickly begged her to delete the video, and Nina agreed. But just as she was about to delete it, she accidentally hit the rewind button. In an instant, everything around them started playing in reverse. Time literally went back to the moment her son picked up the ketchup. Nina snapped out of it, looking around in fear. She rushed to stop him, but Tyrell seemed completely confused by what she was saying. Nina tried hard to remember what had just happened and explained it to her son, but Tyrell still looked totally puzzled, she thinking maybe it had all been her imagination. But their strange conversation caught the attention of a nearby cop. Soon they left the restaurant, but the uneasy feeling only got stronger as they drove onto the highway. To help calm his mom, Tyrell turned on the car music, but it don't worked. Tyrell picked up the camcorder, wanting to record his mom's anxious state. Then a piercing siren suddenly sounded from behind. Nina reminded him to stay calm and be polite and cooperative with the officer because one wrong move could cost him his life. Tyrell smiled and rolled down the window, only to see the same cop they had met at the restaurant. Nina explained that she was taking her son to college, but the cop seemed hostile. He asked if there were any weapons in the car. Nina quickly smiled and said no. Then the officer asked Tyrell if he knew why they had been pulled over. Tyrell answered, holding back frustration, it was for speeding.
Since you admitted it, I'll let that go. However, you were operating.
But right after that, the officer noticed the camcorder. He asked if they were filming him, then angrily reached in to grab it. In the chaos, Nina accidentally pressed the rewind button. Time began reversing again. Everything around her played backwards. When she came to, she realized she was back at the moment her son picked up the camera. Nina anxiously asked where the cop had gone, but Tyrell looked completely lost, clearly with no memory of the rewind timeline. Nina felt even more uneasy. She quickly asked her son to stop the car, then got out with the camcorder to check around. But right then, the police car showed up again. Tyrell asked the cop for help, thinking his mom might need medical attention. Instead of helping, he mocked them sarcastically and ordered Tyrell to leave the highway immediately. Tyrell argued angrily, and then the officer suddenly drew his gun. Seeing this, Nina hit the rewind button again. Sure enough, time rewound, but this time, Nina went all the way back to the restaurant. She quickly looked around and saw the officer sitting nearby, eating, staring at them with disgust. Nina urged her son to leave immediately. She decided to get out before the officer finished his breakfast, hoping that might help them avoid his pursuit. Nina rushed Tyrell into the passenger seat, carefully drove onto the highway, and cautiously controlled her speed. But Tyrell was confused by his mom's actions. After driving far enough, Nina couldn't take the stress anymore and decided to find a motel to rest. She hoped the break would also throw the cops off their trail. Lying in the motel room, the TV started showing the lottery numbers. Nina had a sudden idea. She hit the record button on the camcorder. After the numbers finished, she pressed the rewind button again, going back to the start of the live broadcast. Nina smiled and made a bet with her son. If she could predict the winning numbers exactly, he would have to listen to everything she said from now on. Tyrell was shocked that his mom could say the exact winning numbers. Just as things started to lighten up, a knock came at the door. Tyrell opened it, only to find the same cop standing outside again. Nina instantly tensed up.